Welcome to Creature Geek, the special effects makeup podcast from the fan and pro perspective. I am Len Peralta.
And I am Frank Ippolito.
And this is show 73 here on Tester.com. 73,
I think you're just making up numbers.
I am not making up numbers. I am actually I'm keeping good notes here. So we are also live on Facebook Live. We're trying something new out tonight. So for everybody who is watching live, hello out there. If you're not, then keep an eye on our Twitter feed because we'll let you know where and when we'll be.
We're always going to let people know last minute. We will never pre-plan stuff.
Our good friend Sarah from Wartooth Designs is running the Facebook Live. Say hello, Sarah. Excellent.
You know what Sarah is also going to be doing? Sarah has been out here for the past week with us for Comic-Con. She's been helping us with the Lich King. Sarah is also going to take some of your drawings and put those together to make T-shirts, like your little,
nice
CreatureGeek guys.
So so cool.
Yeah, we're going to put some shirts up in the next week or two.
And that's awesome. By the way, Sarah is Wartooth Designs at Wartooth Designs, I think, on Twitter. And if you don't follow her because she also does some really great artwork too. She draws a lot of potatoes and things like that.
She's drawn potato people of some of our guests in the past too.
That's right. I was actually going to save this till the end of the show, but I was going to give a big shout out to Sarah.
Be sitting there in the office.
I didn't know she was going to be sitting there, so I wanted to say, Sarah's helping Frank and I out a lot on social media. Of course, obviously with Facebook Live and Twitch, but also on our Facebook page. She posts the most incredible things that she finds. So I wanted to give her a big shout out for that. If you're not following Creature Geek on Facebook, go do that now because it's awesome. There's great stuff, and I love reading the comments. Lots of our guests are on there commenting on things, so it's very, very cool. It's like a little extension, and we are very thankful to Sarah for doing that. So this week we do not have a guest.
Nope.
It's just you and me, Frank.
Yeah,
and Sarah, of course.
Well, yeah, Sarah's just sitting there though. Yeah, I wanted to chime in a little bit. I've been getting some emails and some messages and stuff about just running a small business and running an effect shop and some of that stuff. So I wanted to chat about that. But
we've talked a little bit about it in the past, but there's maybe some new information.
Yeah, there's some other stuff. But we were just talking about Comic-Con. So we just got back from San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was following along. I know, I was following along. I said online, this is like the first year I haven't gone since 2012. And every year I'm sort of around this time, I'm like, I really wish I would have gone. This year is the first year that I'm like, I'm okay with not going. I'm okay with seeing all the updates and I wasn't burning with rage as seeing everybody doing the cool stuff. I'm actually okay with it. I've come to terms with it. But you did some incredible stuff out there this weekend. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we had our Lich King costume down there. Blizzard did a big activation for their new Hearthstone game for the expansion, whatever they call it. And so we had that down there, and my crew was down there tending to the suit, and we had Steve Meisner and Kurt Carley switching off being in the suit, and so that was kind of cool.
Who was on? You want to mention your crew? Because I know there's a couple people who are.
We had Ben Plowman and Justin Gregory and Sarah.
Eddie Haleko.
Sarah and Eddie Haleko, So they were down there tending to the costume. And then I guess Gary Kroll kind of popped down on Saturday too to goof around. But I'm also
So was it a big hit? Was it a big hit?
Yeah, people liked it. It's all over the social medias and stuff like that, and so that's neat. But so you guys are all going to be hearing, well, most of you will be hearing this podcast on Friday, and I'm actually in China right now. So today we're recording on Monday, so tomorrow morning I'm getting on a plane and flying to China for this convention called China Joy. And so I'm taking.
Have you ever been to China before?
I've never been to China, let alone Shanghai.
Okay.
Okay. So I get to go over there with Blizzard, and we're taking the Lich King over to China. So
that's awesome.
I guess they found somebody over there that's the right size to wear it. So I'll see tomorrow or something, or Wednesday when I get there.
So where's he gonna be? I mean, you don't know?
I guess there's a booth. I think it's a Blizzard thing.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know if you have any friends that are in China, in Shanghai. Have them look me up on social media and show me where the bars are.
Now, is Tested going along for the ride,
Nope.
or is it just you?
Nope, just me.
Okay.
Yeah, they really only could afford to send me or one person over there, and I've
Sure.
never been to China, so I
Sure.
wanted to go. So I'm going.
Oh, very, very
So
cool.
that'll be fun. So I'll be in China right now, and
How long will you be gone? Like, a couple weeks, couple days?
It's 6 days. I got to get back here. We're
Oh,
working
okay.
on some other projects, and we're finishing.
Okay. Okay.
This last couple episodes of Orville right now, and so we have a ton of stuff to do for Orville. And then we're making a couple of things for Westworld, so that's kind of fun. And then a
That's
bunch
super
of things
cool.
I really can't talk about. So
Right.
always that stuff.
So let me ask you a little bit about Orville. I know you probably can't say a whole lot about what you're doing.
Okay, but you can ask. Go ahead.
But like when you're working on a show like that, do you know where you're at in the season? Is it just like they're shooting a bunch of stuff and you're just creating things? They don't really give you information like that, or what's the deal?
I mean, usually for a TV show, things are broken down by episode. So, we're on. I totally forget where we are. Like, I'm doing so many things right now, I don't remember what episode we're on. But we're on the last, 2 episodes of the season.
Okay.
So, every episode has different budgets and different things like that. So, where I invoice them for things and what episodes those things get earmarked to makes a difference sometimes.
Yeah. And have they been? Is it like a full season? Is it a full 1 year season, or is it half season?
It's 13 episodes.
Do you know?
I think this is.
That's half season.
Yeah,
right?
this is a half season, and then I think they're gonna go on hiatus or whatever before they pick up more. There's been talk of picking up more. I don't know. Half of it I don't pay attention. Half of it I don't remember what I read on the internet or what I heard somebody say. I don't know.
You're just doing the work.
When they call me and they say, "Hey, we need more of whatever," or "We need you to make another whatever," or a brand new whatever, then
that's cool.
So so that's that. Oh, and I'm sadly not going to be at DragonCon. I think I may have mentioned that before. No, I didn't mention that.
No, we didn't mention it. Both Frank and I were supposed to be there to do a show, and at the last second, you got busy. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, a project popped up, and there's no way I can pull away for that weekend because that doesn't take it. Like by the time I, leave on a Wednesday or Thursday and then come back on a Monday, or it's just even if I went like Friday to Sunday, like that's still just stops me, and then you gotta recoup from that.
For you it's a big trek.
It's not that big. I mean, it's only it's only Atlanta.
It does throw you off though.
It's just I just need to be here, and I need to be able to I need to have that downtime and pace myself. I can't pack myself full of stuff.
Right.
I don't even think I'm gonna have downtime. I think I'm gonna be working the whole time. So.
So if you were hoping that you'd see Frank and I at DragonCon, I guess we have to wait till next year. This will be the first year in a long time that I'm not going to any cons at all. Usually I would do DragonCon, I do Gen Con, did Monster Palooza the 1 year, do Comic-Con or something, but I'm doing nothing, which is actually okay. I'm okay with that. Take a year off.
After being at San Diego, it's kind of, it feels like it's kind of the same old shit. Even WonderCon, it kind of felt like there's nothing really that new. Like you go there and you see one or two cool things,
right.
And that's usually all I want out of something like that, is if I see one new cool thing, and I'm excited. We bumped into an artist at San Diego and we did a little video about him on Tested. It's this Italian guy named Luca. What the hell is his name? I bought his book and I bought his model kits.
Is his name on the front of the thing?
Luca Zamprillo.
Okay.
He goes by Calamity with a K.
Okay.
He makes all these really cool mech robots. If you're on Facebook Live, you could see this. I got
very cool
book, and he goes through how he scratch builds all these model kits, and then you could buy the model kit, and it's just gorgeous works.
Super cool.
I love.
Is
robots.
that all his work? That's all his work right there.
Book. And this is volume 1.
It's amazing.
So that was the one thing I saw at San Diego, and I don't know. I just feel like it's always kind of, there's always this mass of people waiting in ridiculous lines to buy some exclusive that you can get on eBay the next day, or to watch an announcement of a trailer that's going to be on YouTube the next day. and it's
or
all
in a couple hours.
yeah, or in a couple hours, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you guys are killing so much time and whatever. I mean, I don't have to sit in that line, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know. Like, there's nothing like it's like, let's do something different.
Well,
like,
it's
I'm
fun
excited to go to China because I've never seen that, and that's
Yeah.
going to be a different environment.
Sure.
And even like conventions.
It kind of sucks that you have to go alone, though. You know, that kind of sucks.
It'll be okay. I like going alone. Sometimes it's fun to travel like by myself because then I don't have to like wait for somebody or decide where. Oh, what do you want to eat? I don't know. Like I just do whatever the hell I want. But like other like conventions that are different that aren't these like same old like pop culture conventions are more interesting to me anyways. Like things like DesignerCon, and Monsterpalooza. But even
Maker Faire, stuff like that.
Yeah, Maker Faire. But even those, like, like Maker Faire every year is kind of the same as Maker Faire every year. And Monsterpalooza, whether it's regular or Son of, it's kind of the same thing every year. Like, people will have like one or two new pieces of art, and there might be one or two things that like really catches my eye. But I don't know. I don't know if like.
Well, how much of it for you? Because for me, it would be to see everybody. It's like the one, like Comic-Con is a great time to see everybody.
Yes.
And you get to everybody's in kind of in one place.
Yeah, I agree. Like, a lot of the parties that I end up popping around with the Tested Crew and with Adam Savage and everything end up being that all those people you see together like once a year. Like we went to like Bill Prady's party this year, and we saw.
Oh yeah.
Like Lucky Yates was there, and he's always a hoot. And what's your buddy's name at Dragon Con?
Ken.
Ken,
right.
Yeah, Ken Plume was there.
And, yeah, I know.
I was hanging out with Ken a little bit.
Every year I do the invite for Bill's party, and every year I go, I'm gonna make it there one day, because I was there one year. The last time I was there was 2012. Great party.
Yeah,
like
it's nice.
everybody
it's like
who's everybody is there.
And it's
it's beautiful. It's outside.
Yeah.
It's private.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to worry about people, you know what I mean? And there are some really incredible people that go to this party.
Yeah. No, I saw George R.R. Martin there 2 years ago.
Yeah, I saw him when I went in 2012.
Yeah.
John Landis goes to this party. Yeah. I guess maybe should we be talking about that? I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this.
No, but San Diego Comic-Con is nothing but parties, and if you find yourself in the right hole or right circle, you're going to be at parties with people that are like notable. Like that's not anything. I mean, it's not like you're telling people where it is or when it is.
Right.
We'll
exactly.
keep that one.
But it's funny because I do his invite every year. I talk to Bill once a year. I'm like, hey, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go to your party this year. Well, I almost went to Comic-Con and then it didn't happen. I was like, dang it, I really want to go to his party because it was such a great time. But that's the thing. It's like seeing people and kind of just revitalizing in that way, the camaraderie and stuff like that.
Kirk Thatcher was there too. I was hanging out with Kirk for a while.
I saw the pictures. And Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
I didn't talk with her.
She was there.
She was.
That's the kind of person you really don't like.
I don't need to
right?
bother her.
She doesn't need to talk to you.
No, I have nothing to say. Yeah, but Bill is cool because he's like a nerd and a collector, and he likes a lot of the similar stuff, and like we have a lot of similar friends. Like I met him originally through like Penn and Teller.
Okay.
So like.
Yeah, I met Bill through Adam. So. And did Adam have his Comic-Con party, or does he still do that?
He didn't have a big Comic-Con party this year. He had one get together in his hotel one of the evenings, which was really fun.
Sure.
And that was nice, because it was nice.
Probably
and small.
Smaller. Yeah, smaller. Right.
And it's always fun, and we got to see some really cool stuff. Like Adam built this new suit of armor. He was over in England. He made the suit of armor with Terry English that was really neat, and I guess there's
saw that on Instagram, right?
There's stuff untested about that, and let's see. I don't know if the video is up yet, but there is an article up already where Adam got to put on one of the spacesuits from Alien Covenant.
Nice.
And now I still haven't seen the movie. I'm lagging a bit.
Right.
But say what you will about the movie, that spacesuit is fucking gorgeous. The way it's put together, the way it's built, the way it's engineered, like it's just There's so much attention to detail, and this is built by FBFX, and it's designed by Janty Yates and I forget the other her assistant designer's name, but man, this thing is built so nice and it's so gorgeous. And I got to help.
Was that one of his incognitos?
Yeah,
was that?
It was kind of an incognito thing. Like he put the suit on and we went down to the alien experience that they had in the middle of Comic-Con. But you know, helping Adam suit up into that thing, like I got to know how that suit is put together really well, and how like it's like when you kind of reverse engineer how somebody has designed a suit. Like I like to take some of those things that I'm learning from observing other people's work and put that into my own, and that makes my work a little bit better. The work that comes out of my shop, and it just gives me such an appreciation for like these guys at FBFX that just make such great. Like they're like the Ironhead of the UK. That's the best way I can explain it. Like Ironhead is pretty much hands down like the best specialty costume shop here in the US. There's a couple others that do stuff too, but nobody has the finesse and the style of Ironhead. And I can't think of any specialty costume shops in the UK that has the finesse that FBFX has, and just the layers, details, and all these beautiful little brass etched parts, and just the fit and finish of everything is just so nice.
How many incognitos did Adam do? Was it 3?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, he did.
So he did the knight in armor, shining armor.
Yeah.
Armor.
He did a Chewbacca.
Did he do the?
He did a Chewbacca with another guy, so there was 2 Chewbaccas walking around.
And then the Martian, was he the Martian?
No, not the Martian. And then it was the alien.
Oh, the alien. Right, the alien. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're still working on the Martian suits. I don't know 100% what the plan is for a deadline on that, but like I work, me and my guys work on that in between our stuff here at the shop.
Sure.
Sometimes we'll run parts on the big printers, and I'm always kind of fiddling with things. Like it's in progress. Like that suit has a lot of elements to it. That's unfortunately I have a day job that takes up like 1,000 hours a week.
Right.
So it's probably doesn't go as fast as the public wants it to go.
I was thinking a little bit about Adam this weekend, not only because it was Comic-Con, but also because I started getting into a little bit more, I don't want to say cosplay, but I guess that's what it is. I went in and I bought my own Spider-Man suit, which is like something that I probably would not have done if I didn't think I could actually pull it off physically. Because, if I was kind of like,
a Spider-Man. I'd be a tough Spider-Man.
I can barely pull it off. I'm in pretty good shape. I think I've been working out. I think that I could probably do it. So I went ahead and I bought it, but it's still like, oh man, this is not like, it's not ready for public consumption yet. But it was funny though, because you think Spider-Man, you think, that costume is like super, super easy to put together. And you can really go down a rabbit hole, just like with any of your, like, The Martian. You can go down a rabbit hole at any of this stuff.
It doesn't matter what costume it is. Like, people like the RPF have picked those things apart, and it's so much detail, so many layers of detail. Crazy.
Well, I've ordered. I have the base suit, which I'm modding right now. I got a polyurethane raised spider drone type thing on my chest. I'm getting the yellow homecoming jacket. I went ahead and bought a face shell with magnetic lenses. I bought. I know, seriously, I'm going down this rabbit hole.
That's
I'm
like, the CreatureGeek and he's going to.
and some of the work I did over the past couple months. No, web shooters, which I should probably just make on my own because. They this dude who's working, it's just, I don't know. But anyway, it's, I was thinking about Adam only because my wife looks at me, she's like, why are you doing this with the costumes? Who cares? I'm like, because there's something like super cool. Yeah, it's fun. Well, and he's sort of like my cosplay hero because it's like, yeah, he has like the one tested video where he has like his costume room where all these things in boxes and things. Yeah. It's just so cool. And it gives me something to kind of like, it's something to do. It's fun.
There's nothing wrong with doing that stuff. And, I've had to rant plenty of times about how, I don't know, whatever cosplayers are doing, but there's nothing wrong with doing it for fun if you keep it for fun. It's So when people try
That's
and
right.
pretend like they're professionals and then they're just flaky, that's what pisses me off. Do it for fun. Who cares?
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah.
I'm on sites like RPF all the time, just like getting like little details and things like that, and trying to figure out, well, can I do this? What can I do?
Oh yeah.
This is the newest one for those of you on Facebook Live. This is the newest thing I just picked up yesterday. This is my own little helmet.
Where'd you get
It's
that from?
black. This it was on sale at Best Buy, believe it or not. It's a little bit large.
Uh-huh.
Well,
you're
but
also
it's
a little
black.
bit short for a stormtrooper, so.
I am a little bit short for a stormtrooper. So I was like, this is the first part, right? Like, and eventually over time, because it's really super expensive to make this, and it's a commitment to make the suit. Over time, maybe I'll just start building this stuff. But this is the first part. At least I have the helmet. And when I put it on, it looks like a big bobble. I look like a bobble because it is a little bit bigger than the normal one, and it talks. It's a voice changer and stuff like that. So that's the newest one I'm working on. But yeah. So Adam and his and is my cosplay hero. Just have to say that. Now the other thing I wanted to talk to you about before we get to business stuff is some of the trailers.
Oh, dude, that's one of the greatest thing about the Comic-Con season, I guess, is that all these guys are releasing all their new and extended trailers. Holy shit. Ready Player One?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm ready. Like, what?
I
know that this is going to be a big CG fuckfest. Like, it's got to be CG because the whole thing takes place in virtual reality. That's fine.
Right,
so it's going to be a lot of ridiculous stuff. But walking into it knowing that it's going to be all motion capture, green screen, CG, like ridiculousness, that's exactly what I want. I want this to be everything that's over the top and doesn't make sense. I
watched the trailer and I was really super happy for Ernie because his book is turning into something. I mean, you get to work with Spielberg. What the hell, man? Come on, that's like a dream come true. I need to see another trailer because I'm a little bit concerned about what they have to change and what has to. Did you ever read the book?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's so much in that book that they can pull from.
Well, I talked to somebody that worked on it, and they told me that the thing that's going to probably be the biggest letdown is that they're not able to license all the things that he references in the book.
Sure.
So, I don't know what's like made it, but I mean, you have to assume that, like that whole Ferris Bueller's Day Off thing, like they're not going to be able to license all of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or Monty Python and the Holy Grail, or some of the
or a lot of hopefully a lot of D&D stuff ends up in there.
The D&D has to, like, the D&D is such a huge chunk of it.
You'd think, but you never know with these companies.
And all the video games, all the like. There's so, and all the music, like there's so much. No. That's going to be the hardest part, I think. Translating that story into a movie, like I could see how it works. I could see how that could be translated fairly decently without having to like cut out too much.
I think the second trailer is going to tell a lot better how they handled it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, I shouldn't be concerned, but I'm concerned that like Spielberg hopefully will be able to get why this is so cool, why the book was so cool. And the thing that hit me about it was like the first trailer was just like, ooh, this is VR. Look, like it looks like they're capitalizing on virtual reality. And there's so much more to that story.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it all takes place in virtual reality, so it is what it is.
Oh, yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? Like people who don't have anything to know about Ready Player One are going to look at that and like, oh, this is like VR. They're capitalizing on VR. And it's like, no, that's not it. You don't understand. Yeah. There's so much more to this story. Yeah. But yes, super, super excited about that. Justice League. What was your take on that? What was your hot take on Justice League?
Is there a new Justice League trailer?
There was. Yeah, it's a 4-minute trailer.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, there's a new Justice League.
Oh no, I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch it. It's good. Yeah, I thought first
more
for a second
Aquaman
I was
in
thinking
it.
about something else. Yeah, no, I think that looks good. I mean, it looks like what I assume it's going to be. Like, there's a point where all of these superhero movies are just like a blur of stuff.
Look
like
the same.
It's all I think we live in a really like cool time that all of these comic book, and all of these things that we grew up reading in comic books and in watching on cartoons are now these live action movies. And I think people get jaded or get like picky about like, oh, well, this isn't what my interpretation is, or this isn't what I think it should be. It's like,
right.
Just fucking have a beer and go watch this movie and be entertained for an hour or 2 or 3 or whatever the hell they make them.
Right, right.
Everybody just gets so like wrapped up and gets their panties in a bundle about if it's right or wrong or if it's this or that. It's like, man, you should just be fucking lucky that we're getting all of this stuff. Like you can't go a month without a new superhero movie coming out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Plus for your industry, just the work you're getting out of it.
A lot of work.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think it's great. It's fine. Like and even if the movie's a stinker, who cares? Like it'll be fine. You know, I'm excited that they're making all this stuff. Like this stuff makes me happy. Like, and as much as I'm biased about the Star Trek thing, like it looks like it might be okay. I don't know.
The Discovery?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of sick of the like taking myself seriously, broody sci-fi kind of stuff. I want playful like Orville, but that also might be my bias. I don't know.
My problem with the new Star Trek is that you have to pay a new streaming service to watch it. I think that's a mistake.
No, it's super horrible.
I think that's a mistake.
And they unveiled a bunch of the Star Trek stuff down at Comic-Con. They had some of the designs for like the Klingons and the armor and stuff like that. It just looks like some dude with all the ZBrush mirroring tools on just fucking vomited all over the design. Like,
sure,
everything just looks so. I don't know, like
Michael Bay-ish.
No, not Michael Bay-ish. It's just like just because you can layer in all the detail in the universe doesn't mean you should. Just because you can, steal or all art is derivative in one way or another. But just because you can make some this, Giger-esque derivative suit of armor, I don't know. I'm just
I understand what you're saying. What makes it different? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
If you put up like Star Trek Discovery next to armor from the Warcraft movie, right?
Well, the Warcraft movie is a fantastical take on medieval style armor. Like that's a whole different thing.
But do you see the overlap there? There's a little bit of overlap, I think, because of the armor and the way that it's designed.
No, I think that the
Klingon armor would look a lot like the Warcraft armor. I would think would look like Transformers type armor.
I don't know. I think that there's a lot of designs that are being enabled by CG that are just like not real fun. Like as much as Neville Page is a good drawer and as much as Aaron Sims is a good drawer. Like, I think a lot of their designs, like, it's like, geez, I'm sick of, like, aliens that have, 10 joints in their arms. And, like, I don't know, like, everything starts to look like Cloverfield to me, Or,
right. It's all derivative of something else, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't feel original.
And, I mean, what the fuck is original? But...
Well, that's a good point. The design for is it Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok? Ironhead did the
helmet for Helena.
The helmet, yes.
Yeah. But that comes from the comic books.
That
was designed by the comic books, or it was inspired by the designs in the comic book. I mean, but that's what all that stuff's comic books.
But still, Ironhead did something that is
it's gorgeous.
No one else is. Yeah, doesn't look like anything else.
I think the Ragnarok stuff looks great. There's a lot of people that are whining like it's too colorful and this or that.
Oh God, please!
I love that 80s kind of throwbacky Jack Kirby bright
yeah.
I think that looks
beautiful.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I don't know, but I'm a dummy. I like everything.
It's gorgeous. So that was Ragnarok. Excited for that.
Yeah,
Justice League looked good.
Yeah.
The one thing I was kind of excited about to see is the Stranger Things trailer. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I'm so ready for that show.
Super cool. Yeah. Really exciting. Hopefully they don't screw it up on a sophomore season, but I'm excited that it's coming out.
I'd be shocked if they screwed it up. I think it's going to be fine.
I hope so. I hope they go back to the same well and just give us more of the same thing rather than trying too much. That I don't know.
You've been watching Game of
Thrones?
Know.
I'm just excited. Last night was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can Theon Greyjoy let us down one more time, please?
I'm we're getting to a point on that show because they're gonna have to wrap it up in another season, which is like now all the lines are starting to come together.
So fucked up. I love it. It's so good.
And it's Jon Snow meeting up with Daenerys next episode.
We should spoil too. We can't. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I don't know how much that is a spoiler. You know what I mean? It's like they have to happen eventually. Those two characters have never crossed paths at all, and now we're about to see that finally come together, and I'm so excited to see how that works out.
That show's good. I'm happy.
What did you think about the final effects scene with all the embers and
all the broats?
Yeah. Did you think it was a little bit too much?
It looks like an expensive scene. That's what I see. Well, it's like, wow.
I think they covered it up with all those embers. I'm like, what the hell's going on in this fight scene? I couldn't even tell what the hell's going on.
Things are on fire. They gotta. Yeah, I don't know. It's
like,
it
too
looks
many
like
embers.
An expensive scene. That's what I see.
If I was the director, I'd be like, let's break down let's not too many embers, covering up all the good stuff. So,
well, maybe
anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't fixate on that like you did.
Maybe it was late. I couldn't see. I did my contacts in.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe there were no embers, Len. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was embers. Well, go back and watch the scene. Embers everywhere. So that's kind of a Comic-Con wrap up.
Yeah.
It looked exciting. I loved following along and seeing all the cool stuff that was coming out, and it was great. It was kind of nice not to have to be out there, although I did miss seeing everybody. And,
I'm probably gonna feel that same way about Dragon Con. Like, as much as I love going there, and it's like easily one of my favorite conventions of the year. It's just it'll be nice to take a break.
I'd love to
for a year.
Yeah, I would love to see everybody. It would have been nice to go.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you weren't going out there, I mean, I would just be going out just to hang out with people. It's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I kind of need something more if I'm going to go to a con. I kind of need something more than just I'm going to hang out with my friends over the weekend. I can't really do that. So, we were going to talk. We got really sidelined. We were going to talk a little bit about business type stuff.
Business.
Running a small.
Yeah, I got a couple of emails in the past few weeks from people that are trying to get, like maybe newer at running shops and stuff like that. And, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. But I've been doing it for a couple of years. So I guess that gives me a little bit of experience. I didn't start running my own business till about 7 years ago. And before that, I had spent 10 years working in other shops, observing how other people run their business. And I think that I have learned decently from other people's mistakes, and tried to remember those things about how you like run it. Like if you're just yourself working in your shop or whatever, like, or if you have like a friend that helps you here and there, like that ain't the same as having to run like a whole business.
Sure.
And having employees and juggling like 10 projects at the same time. And it's exhausting and it's stressful and it's a lot of work, and I love every second of it because it's the coolest job in the world. But if I didn't love it, I'm definitely in the wrong stupid business. Like it's a lot of work.
So what is the nature of the questions you're getting? How to start? What do people want to know?
Like a lot of times it's how do you deal with like interpersonal relationships in the shop, with employees, between you and employees, and how you delegate stuff like that. Sometimes it's stuff with how you deal with clients. And I got to tell you, no matter who I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of other people that run small businesses like this also, everybody has to chase down money. Like all of us, like that's half of our job is getting these clients to pay on time and making sure that our contracts are outlined well enough so that we can get money. Like it doesn't matter. Like if I'm waiting on $1,000 in checks or $50,000 in checks, I'm still chasing down checks,
Sure.
And that's everybody, every company that I've talked to.
That's the nature of the business.
It really is. And it's kind of frustrating because like I don't like to make my crew wait to get paid because everybody's, most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Or if people are really good at, their finances are only a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months, with with a cushion. But
Right. But that's
like,
that's got to be the most stressful thing for you.
it is like
Knowing,
I got 10 people working in the shop right now because we got a lot of jobs going on. I got to cut checks for 10 people every week. Like just like pretend in your brain like what you think somebody makes in LA, multiply that by 10 people,
right.
and then multiply that by
Right.
4 weeks, and then add in overhead, and then add
Yep.
in paying me.
Yep.
Like
right.
it gets to be a
And
lot.
just expect
And
and materials and stuff like
and
that.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you have hard materials and stuff like that are, I mean, you have inventory. I
Yeah.
mean, you need to have that stuff.
Yeah, I mean
So it's not, yeah.
you have to learn to become good with money because you can't like a happy crew is a good crew. Like you want to like I try to take care of the guys and girls really well. Like I try to make sure that they're always paid on time. They don't have to stress about me paying them. So that alleviates that. So they don't have to come into work going, "Oh, am I going to get paid this week?"
Right.
Or am I going to have a job next week? Like most of the people that have been here for a long time.
Right.
I don't have a lot of turnover here. And then, I try to keep jobs fun and interesting. Like sometimes it turns into jobs where it's tapping glass and sanding Bondo. I mean, that's just because sometimes that's just what jobs are. But, I want to
you're not, but you're not paying like healthcare for people. That's another thing entirely. Or are you?
No,
are you?
I can't afford that. Like most
Sure.
shops
Okay.
can't afford that. I mean, there are some shops that do. Like everybody still freelance at the shop, and you
Okay.
have to be very careful when you own a business how you dictate work conditions to people when they're freelance versus full time, because the state will come down on you and they'll say, well, these people they do they have a set schedule? Well, I mean, we work 5 days a week, usually 9 to 6.
Yeah.
Well, so do you tell them to come in? I said, no, I'm usually in at 7, and whenever they get in, they get in. I would like them to be in by 9, and some people some people come in before me, some people come in whatever. But it's like once you get into that, like these are your work hours, and this is your lunch break.
Right.
This is
right.
You get into all these
Then
rules about
opens a totally different
labor
world.
laws are nuts. So, no, I don't make enough money that I can afford to provide health care for people yet. I mean, hopefully one day I can. And I don't make enough money that I have people on salary on W-2. Because that's a whole other ball game. It's
another thing entirely.
Because let's just pretend that somebody makes $1,000 a week, right? Just for simplicity's sake, I got to pay another. I think it's 20% on top of that for their taxes. So that then that $1,000 a week person becomes $1,200 a week, and then taxes get taken out of their shit. So they're not actually bringing home $1,000 a week. So if you want me to put you on W-2, you can either be freelance and we're going to abide by the rules of a freelance relationship, and you get to take home $1,000 every week, or we'll put you on W-2. You're going to take home like $800 a week, and I got to pay $1,200 a week. Like, like it's crazy, and it's really, really hard, and you really have to like pay attention to the rules and try and do things right. And all I can do is I can operate with the best intentions and best practices so that people aren't getting taken advantage of. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not putting anybody in danger. Like, I try to observe all the OSHA rules and try and make it a safe workplace and provide safe gear and, proper ventilation and blah, blah, blah. Like, and all the safety equipment. And like, there's so like running a small business is really, really complicated. It's not just, hey, I got a garage, let me call some of my buddies and we're going to, cast up some resin parts.
Right. Because, because you are being held as a quote unquote employer of these people to a higher standard. Yeah. So for sure.
And it's tricky. And then because these are all my friends that work for me, like pretty much everybody that works there, they're my buddies. We all get along together. We all have a good time. We all know how to communicate with each other, and finding a crew that works like harmoniously like that is really, really tricky. Like I've had ups and downs, had good and bad experiences with employees in the past, but I found like a really nice crew that works really well together, and they all complement each other's skill sets.
Sure.
Some people are stronger at this and some are stronger at that. Everybody's kind of a generalist though, so I can, if need be, we could all jump in on the same thing. So like finding that balance is really tricky.
Yeah.
And there's people that
And and that's where it gets into kind of the interpersonal
you get one
relationship
person in there that's got an ego or an attitude or thinks something's below them, or no, I don't want to go San Bondo, I'd rather be a sculptor. It's like, it's just, sorry man, this is what the job is. Like, just do this for these couple of days and we'll get on to something else next.
And like the money portion, chasing down money, dealing with politics and interpersonal relationships in a small business, you cannot get away from that, because people are people, and they will, and once you get people into a mix, you may have a great crew and that's terrific, but one little thing can kind of unravel a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
if it gets, you don't want things to get funky. And I mean, and one of the ways that it doesn't get funky is I make sure to pay all of my friends on time. Like, my apartment is owned by one of my friends. And when I knew that he had an opening a couple years ago, and I was like, hey, I want that apartment. He's like, are you sure? Like, I don't want this to get weird. I go, trust me, you're going to get your rent. You're going to be paid like a month or two ahead of time all the time, because I don't want our relationship to be weird. And as long as I pay my rent on time, there's no reason it needs to get weird. And so once you remove that financial like stress from the equation, then we're never going to have that problem. So I got to make sure I make sure to pay my friends on time, so it never becomes something where I'm taking advantage of their kindness or of my relationship with them. And that's super important too. Like, pay your crew well.
Yeah, I mean,
pay them what they.
You
like, I don't like to haggle with people about money or be nickel and diming about stuff. Like, if that's what you want for your rate, all right, just make sure that you perform up to that.
Right.
And I haven't had any. I've been lucky enough that I haven't had a problem. Nobody's asked for any ridiculous rates. People, you keep your rate reasonable, and I can keep you on longer. If you're super expensive, if you're like a premium rate, then I can't keep you on as long. Like, I'm going to try and get you out the door as soon as I can.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Have you ever had to fire anybody?
I've let a couple of people go, and it's really awkward, and it's really unfortunate, and people that I don't necessarily dislike. It's just things just weren't working out, or and there's been times where people have quit on me, like, for very awkward and inappropriate reasons and ways, and it makes it really, really hard. I've also had big miscommunications with people about scheduling and time, and it's just like, these people are like, oh, I didn't think you needed me next week, and it's like, what are you fucking kidding? I just signed a contract on something. Like, you're fucking me. And so there's been times where, because of miscommunication or assumptions on somebody's part, like I've had small falling outs, and I don't hold like shitty grudges to people real long. I mean, sometimes you just gotta like be crabby and then you get over it. But everybody's got their own experience and their own life. Like, you can't assume that anybody's living for you, or like, like, you got to treat people the way you want to be treated. Like, I like to buy lunch for the crew a lot. Like, a lot of times we go to lunch, and like, especially if we're all together, like, fuck, I'm paying for it. Like, it's just like sometimes little things like that, like, just show appreciation. Or like when we made the CreatureGeek, shirts that say "Safety never takes a vacation," bought everybody a shirt. Like, like, it's easy shit like that. Like, you don't have to.
Right.
It just shows people that you appreciate it. And like, one guy that works for me, Nick, he's like, hey, I'm doing. He does like painting, like fine art painting. He's like, hey, I gotta get some paintings together for a show. Can I take some time off? I was like, yeah. He told me a couple months ahead of time that he wants to schedule out some time. He went and took that. Or, we were slow last month, and Rick Lazzarini needed a crew, so I said, hey guys, do you want to go help out Lazzarini on his thing? And so they went over there and worked there. So like, I try to keep things fresh and let people take time, go do other projects, and so nobody's like stagnant and like sick of, sometimes you need to just like switch things up a little bit. Or take people on like field trips. Like, a couple weeks ago, I took a bunch of the guys over to JPL, and we went and looked at some of the robots in their robotic development department. Like, we got to see the gecko robots and like all these really crazy things. just going on a little field trip in the afternoon, and that re-inspires people, and you're like, fuck, I want to make cool shit like that.
Well, it sounds to me like you're learning as you go along.
Absolutely. No,
but the important thing is to realize that you have to be flexible enough to learn this stuff because there are rules written about running your own business.
Well, there's laws that you have to follow. There's
sure.
Those.
No. Yeah. But I'm saying just you have to be you have to learn how to be a certain type of person to run a business, because if you're not the right type of person, you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Easily. You can be looked as a pushover. So it's like having that balance of hey, things need to be done, but we're gonna have fun doing this, and we're a team here, and team building exercise. I mean, that's what JPL was, a team building exercise. Yeah. So people who are trying to either start a business or think about that, these are all these things that you have to kind of understand that you may not, like, as Frank said just at the beginning of this conversation, he doesn't know what he's doing. Not that
I'm learning
not in a bad way. He's learning as he's going.
Yeah.
That's important, to give yourself that opportunity to I guess to fail or try to experiment, that kind of stuff.
No, and I make mistakes like anybody else. Like, I make a mistake, I make a poor judgment call on how we do a project, and then I have to pay the consequences, which is redoing something or changing something. Or if I am having a bad day and I get snippy with somebody, I gotta apologize, and I have to learn not to do that. Like, I mean, it's everything. Everybody's got good and bad days, and you have to read everybody and try to treat everybody. You just gotta treat people good. Just don't be an asshole and treat people good. I mean, it's so hard. so easy to be an asshole.
Yeah, it's easy to say. It's easy to say, harder to do.
Yeah,
so.
It's I mean, just treating people. That's the treating people the way you want to be treated. And you get into these bigger shops that are like these big giant machines, and it just like sucks the life out of you. Like, I don't want to. I don't want this place to suck the life out of people. I want it to be like there's already a complicated enough industry, and we already have to questionably are underpaid or whatever you want to call it. Like, you got to try to minimize the horse shittiness of the job as much as you can. So I try.
Well, it sounds to me like you've had the benefit of working for people who have treated you well, so
or treated
what
me
that
wrong,
is
and
like.
I learned what I don't want to do.
That there you go. Right. So you don't want to repeat that, or you want to emulate what you've seen from other places. And that's important too.
And you have to pay people what they're worth. Like, if you can't afford somebody's rate, then you're not budgeting correctly. And if you're stressing people out, and you're like, hey, we gotta do this stupid retarded thing in 2 days and make everybody work around the clock, and by the way, I'm not paying overtime. It's like, then you're not budgeting right, or learn how to say no to jobs. Like, I hear too much about people that are like, they'll take on like everything with horrible schedules and horrible budgets, and they just make everybody down the chain miserable. And then you end up not making it. Like, what's your profit margin on that? Like you're not making any money on this, and you're pissing everybody off. That's horrible. So,
right. You'll pay for it one way or the other.
Yeah,
what it is.
And it's, I mean, it's a full-time job just trying to find enough work to keep the boat moving. Like, I'm always juggling a gajillion. Oh, that reminds me, I got another budget I got to do tonight before I leave.
So, I'm not running a shop with many people. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
But as far as to your point about projects, when I started my business, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started working on my own, my analogy, and I will pass this on to everybody, my analogy was always in terms of video games. So two things that always have kept me going. If you think about your workflow and your work, just the work you're doing in terms of Grand Theft Auto, on Grand Theft Auto, you always have a mission to go to if there's a blip on your screen.
Yeah.
You have a place to go to do something. Some of them may advance you. Some of them are just things you can kind of do to keep things going. So when there was a blip on the screen, that means you're still alive. You're in the game, right? That's the way I always looked at my projects. If I had blips on the screen to go to, that meant I was still working. I'm still in the game. I have a place to go. That's the first thing. Second thing is not everything you're going to do is going to give you the big power up to get you to the next level, because and this is a Street Fighter analogy, right? So like you'll take little jobs, little job, little job, little job, and basically what you're doing is you're charging up your meter, right? So you'll take these little jobs, you'll take little things to charge up your meter, and eventually something will come along that's like, now this is the power move. This is the thing you can do. And then that's when you can like hit it, and you can hit a bunch of things all at once, and you got like your super power move going on. That's the way I look at the work I'm doing. That's the way I look at projects. And if you look at it in terms of video games, that's how I know, that's how I've run my business. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, using those analogies will help other people out as well. Because I always found that was, I mean, people would ask me like, well, what are you working on? I'm working on a lot of things, but I'm charging up my meter. Yeah. Because I know that when I'm going to hit it, I want to be ready to hit it.
Well,
so,
you know what's tricky is that when you have like, let's say you have a bunch of little jobs. So then I'm chasing a bunch of little checks. And so, mm-hmm. Again, for simplicity's sake, let's say I have like 10 $100 jobs floating out there. So I need $1,000 to go pay a bill, but I got to go chase down 10 checks. And if one guy's running late on $100 check, I still can't pay that bill. Right. So that like when it's a bunch of little jobs, it's almost more stressful than having like one big job. If like one big job, like then I have money to float in between projects and stuff like that, and I don't have to chase a check every single day. So like
that's why I always look at those little projects as how much time is it going to take me to do it? How long can I turn that around? Can I turn it around in like a day or two and maximize the profit off that job? Yeah. So I'm not spending a lot of work hours doing a job. I know I can knock it out and then get paid quick.
Yep.
So
no, it's tricky. And then the other thing is dealing with clients, like there's some clients I just want to tell to F off because they ask ridiculous things and they have no money, and like learning how to say no to a job it's scary because if you say no to something, they're going to go to somebody else that'll do it for them, and then all of a sudden they're using them as the vendor, and you don't have that client anymore. Or just, the thing that took me the longest time to figure out is just quoting out. Like it's hard. It's hard to figure out like where to budget stuff. Like what will the market bear on that? Like part of it is bidding what the market will bear. Like you may value your time at $1,000 an hour, but nobody's going to pay that.
Right. Exactly.
So
if you want to read, once again, we talk about this all the time. I think almost every show. If you want to read great client interaction stories, go follow Rick Lazzarini on Twitter on Facebook.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's got some of the greatest stories. Some clients from hell type stuff. He's dealt with a lot of stuff.
Well,
and he still gets more craziness almost every day, it seems. He gets craziness.
You know what else is a pain in the ass to deal with is my vendors. So I have a lot of material vendors. So let's say that it's somebody that makes resin or silicone or urethane or whatever the hell it is. Luckily I have a smooth-on store, 5 minutes away from the shop, and so I could go get most of the smooth-on products that I need, which are predominantly what I use in the shop, because there's a store like 5 minutes from the shop. Now, if there was a Polytech store and a BJB store and a Silicone Zinc store and a Blue Star store and a whatever the hell else store, like, or West System or something, maybe I'd use a little bit more of those other products. But the problem is that I can't get those things like right away. And 9 times out of 10, the Smooth-On store has that stuff in stock. So sometimes fighting with vendors on getting materials, it's like, hey, why don't you use more of our stuff? Hey, why don't you go put a store up the street so I could buy it? Oh, well, we have this vendor in Orange County. Oh, cool. I don't want to drive to Orange County to go buy your stuff. Oh, we could ship it overnight. Cool. What if I needed it like 3 p.m? You know, like
Yeah, right.
no.
You have someone who's going to bring it out to me,
This is Los Angeles. There's enough of this industry around. Put a stinking store in the valley, like I don't know.
Or do an Uber type thing where you do deliveries or something.
I don't know. That's maybe yeah, like McMaster Car. You know, if I put a McMaster Car order in before 10 a.m., I'll have the material by the end of the day. You know, like whether bolts and electronics and stuff like. McMaster's great, right. But is BJB going to open up a McMaster Car kind of app where I could call it in and they'll send somebody up here to do a round of deliveries in the afternoon?
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I think that's the wave of the future. Like you see a bunch of Amazon, Uber Eats. If they can do Uber Eats, right? Like and deliver you McDonald's.
Yeah, they
can certainly deliver your other stuff on time.
Yeah, there you go. If any of you guys are listening that own a materials company, do that. If you put your order in by 10 a.m., there'll be a delivery driver that's going to do their rounds in the afternoon, and then you'll have your material by the end of the day.
That's the way to do it, man. I think that is an untapped market.
I mean,
I think that's good.
Even though Smooth On Store's 5 minutes away, if they did that, I'd probably order from the Smooth On Store that way and have them just bring the stuff over here instead of me having to send my guys over to the shop to buy it.
Why not, man? That's just you pay and then you just add a little tiny fee on there just for the convenience fee of what I mean of like
the shipping
getting
fee.
it.
Like what the hell does overnight shipping cost? Like make it something
right.
20
if you get the stuff then right and you know when you're going to get it, why not? I'm all for it.
Know.
Hey, this is your new business, Frank. We're gonna.
I don't know if that is a new business. I'm still trying to get the stupid escape room off the ground. I'm waiting on my cousin to finish the stupid puzzle so I can start my
this is
room.
It's just
Come on, Brian.
It's just like another thing on the side, right? So, do we have people to thank?
We always have people to thank. Always. There's 2 favorite people on the list in the world: Jason Moore and Eric Seglum. Thank you guys. And then the next 3 favorite people in the world on the list: Ghost Ride Productions, Kevin Oakes, and Aaron Kruger McCash. I think Aaron's on the new American Horror Story, I guess, is what she is.
And she's working on some new stuff.
Yeah.
Her team got a lot of Emmy nods too, which is very good.
Good for them. They deserve it all. Then there's Jonathan Worsley, Hal Clay, Scott Oshida, Chris Ellerby, Bob Lackey, Brian Warner, where are my parts for my escape room? Brian Warner, Gerard Libby, TJ Becker, who is not a cosplayer, Robert Burns, Charles Babbage, Ricardo Murillo, Eric Mullins, Raymond Stanek, Donano
Sinetico, and of course our friend Sarah of Wartooth Designs, who's been with us. Another big shout out for her.
That's actually, Sarah is the newest employee of Thingergy. I've been slowly getting my friends that hate their day jobs to quit their day jobs and come work for me. And Sarah got fed up with her day job, and I said, well, shit, I can keep you busy. So now
that's awesome.
Now she is my newest full-time employee. So actually, I'm paying her to do all the Creature Geek social media and everything. You're welcome, Len.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. If you want to become a part of our Patreon, go to patreon.com/CreatureGeek. Thank you so much to Testa.com for giving us a home. And if you want to visit us, you can visit us at creature-geek.com. And then also follow us on Twitter at CreatureGeek or at CreatureGeeks. We're also Frank Ippolito and Len Peralta on Twitter. If you have any comments for this show, if you want to talk a little bit about what we talked about, anything, San Diego Comic-Con, Frank going to China, running a business, go to Testa.com.
Yeah, you got more business questions?
Leave a comment.
Let's ask those.
Let's become a business podcast. How to run your business.
Don't email these things to me through my personal website. Send it as a question that I'll talk about in the. I get a bunch of really dumb stuff through my personal website. Like, hey, will you make me a Halo helmet? Like, chances are you can't afford me to make you a Halo helmet. FYI. But if you have like a question you want me to chat about on the show, let's just send it in to Creature Geek. Send it to Len and he'll ask me.
Len at creature-geek.com or Frank at creature-geek.com.
No, don't send it to me. I get too much email.
Don't send it to him.
I'm still trying to get my email box under 200. I had it under 200 yesterday. It's like well past it again already.
just send it to us or go to Tested. Actually go to creature-geek.com and go write us there, because there's a bunch of questions that I probably should have looked. Yeah,
good job,
compiling. We'll do that. We'll do that on another one where it's just Frank and I, and we'll answer all these questions.
Yes.
So
we'll do that another time.
So Frank, you got to get some Betty by. You got to go to sleep to get up early to go to China.
No, I got so much stuff to still do here in the shop today. I'm gonna be here for another couple of hours. But yeah, heading to China tomorrow morning. So
yes,
hopefully
you'll be there right now. If you're listening to this podcast on Friday, you will be there right now. So enjoy your time.
Yeah, hopefully
don't
eat the weird food. I'm not that adventurous with the food.
Yeah, well, they I don't know what they'll have there. That'll be interesting.
I might lose some weight while I'm over there.
Well, come back in one piece.
Yep.
So we can join me for another month of Creature Geeks in August.
Yes.
So we will see you in August. So take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode of Creature Geek. Take care. Bye. That was a pretty good show, man.
All right. I'm gonna stop the recording. All right. I gotta get going, Len. I'm not gonna
all right, man.
Too much.
Take care. We'll see you.
See ya.
Have a good trip. We'll see you.
Thanks, man.